Well, that went like shit. I alerted the prince to the weird thing that happened to us down at the lake. It was weird. When Spark said there was a bad man watching us and then those pollen ball things surrounded us and kept us from calling for help, I knew I had to warn the rest of the vampires. Cobalt was pissed, but he didn't try to stop me from telling the prince. Because the prince gets weird every time Spark is mentioned. Well, since Spark noticed the bad man in the forest, the prince demanded he speak with them. I didn't feel like I had a choice, but now I'm not so sure it was the right decision. Oh man, you could cut the tension with a knife, it was so thick. It was a clusterfuck. Mom was in an impossible situation. She's still bound by the rules of the Vampire Council, but she loves Spark and Cobalt and would never let harm come to either one. Well, no, I didn't say the prince threatened Spark. Not exactly. He made it sound like Spark might be causing all the weird stuff that's happening. I know that, and you know that, but the prince can't allow loyalties to cloud his vision. He has to be suspicious of everything. The survival of the vampire people rests on his shoulders. I don't fault him, not really, but sun scorch me if we can't figure out a way to prove Spark is innocent. I'm not sure why he's so suspicious of Spark, but he sure seems unwilling to give them the benefit of the doubt. Cobalt tried to send all of us away so we wouldn't be forced to choose between him and the prince. Yeah, it was getting dicey. Cobalt wasn't going to let the prince take Spark's blood. If the healer hadn't told the prince that demon blood is poisonous to vampires, I'm not sure what would have happened. It was news to me, too. You'd think they'd teach that shit in school or something. Apparently, it wasn't just a gap in my knowledge either, because the prince didn't know. Lie? You think the healer would lie to the prince about something like that? Oh, for the love of blood, I hope not. If he found out, there would be hell to pay. She'd be arrested and brought before the council just like Ravenoff was. What a shit show. I feel sick just thinking about it. I don't really know. She loves Spark, and the situation was getting really tense. I didn't mean to, but I really put Cobalt and Ravenoff in an awkward position. Ravenoff has always been a bodyguard for the prince, one of his most trusted advisors, but he and Cobalt have fought side by side for years. They trust each other to watch their backs, but you could see how uncomfortable Cobalt was. He definitely wanted Mom, me, and Ravenoff out of there. No, I don't think it was like that. I think he was trying to protect us. To keep us from having to choose between him and the prince. If Mom lied, she did it to keep the peace. Not that that'll matter if the prince finds out. It's ironic, really. When I was young, I always tried to shake things up just to see what kind of trouble I could start. And now, when I'm trying to be responsible and adult-ish, I fuck up worse than I ever dreamed I could as a kid. Well, you can't blame the prince for wanting to keep his people safe. Spark? No, they didn't seem to feel the tension in the air. They invited the prince to come to our game night. No one was happy about it, except for Spark and the prince. I think he wants to spend time with them in hopes of catching them in something nefarious. What? Are you out of your mind? The prince and Spark? Together? Like, together. No way. For starters, he is way old and Spark is just a kid. Ravenoff? I don't know how old he is. Well, not exactly. He was old when I was born, and I'll be 200 in a few weeks. Yeah, Ravenoff and Cobalt have been fighting together since the Ottoman Wars. Oh shit, you're right. If I remember the story correctly, Cobalt got into a fight with an Atlantean when he was a little younger than I am now. Spark found him and nursed him back to health, and they've been together ever since. So that means Spark is about the same age as the Ottoman Wars? No way. They can't be 400 or 500 years old. They seem so young. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I don't honestly know a lot about demons. I guess they might age differently. I have no idea, but it does make sense. They're awfully intuitive and crazy smart. Well, about everything except what's safe to eat. Well, yeah, I'm sure Cobalt is very overprotective. Have you met him? He is the most over-the-top dad figure I have ever seen. Well, yeah, Bleak wasn't much of a father at all. Man, I hope you're wrong. If the prince and Spark end up together, he won't be able to stop himself from taking their blood. The call of yours is so strong sometimes, I think I'll lose my mind if I have to wait a minute longer. Well, I'm sure part of it is because you are delicious. And part of it is instinct. It's as natural to me as breathing is to you. He won't be able to resist. Exactly. Once he tastes their blood, well, he'll either be poisoned or realize that the healer lied, and neither option is okay. What have I done? Yes, it is. I set this ball into motion, and no matter which way it goes, something really bad is going to happen. And it's my fault. What do you mean this isn't about me? But I'm the one the mage keeps trying to infect. If it wasn't for me, the prince wouldn't know anything about Spark. No, I didn't ask the mage to come after me. I guess that part of it isn't my fault. But if I hadn't notified the prince about the second attack, well, Mom wouldn't have lied to the prince and put herself in danger. That's true. We don't know for sure that she did lie. Well, no, of course I didn't ask her to. I'd never do that. No, I only did what I thought was right. Yeah, I did consult with Cobalt and Mom first, but they agreed because they could tell I thought I had no choice. You think so? Really? You're not just blowing sunshine up my ass? Yeah, I heard Sebastian use that phrase, and it sounded so ridiculous, especially for a vampire. I had to start using it. You are the best. You know that, right? I don't know how you do it, but you always make me feel better. You are my whole world. Thank you.